politically motivated?
I don't have any evidence to believe that. We're a private business. We run business under regulation, just as any other entity that's heavily regulated. I want to believe that it has no political connotations. I'm hopeful in the next day or two we should be back. We will lose revenue. Ghana Airport will also lose revenue.
The Ghana Airport Company Limited is yet to issue any public comment on the issue. McDonough Aviation launched its private jet operations in January 2022, but that event was boycotted by key figures in the aviation sector and officials from the Ghana Airport Company Limited. Christian Yale, TV3 News.
Well, let's know what you make of this very shutdown and other stories that have been aired so far. Go to Facebook, get interactive with us, and engage us with your comments, observations, and what you really want the world to know. We'll surely read them and share them to the rest of the world. And now, driving on principal roads in the capital continues to expose motorists to danger, especially during the night. The alarming rise in non-functioning street lights has reduced visibility as major roads have been plunged in pitch darkness. Experts are concerned and demanding urgent action to prevent fatalities as the new year approaches.
Safety is swallowed up in the night and lives are endangered. It is a nighttime hazard. My night ride through major parts of the Greater Accra region is striking. Reduced visibility as darkness falls on the roads.
So beautiful posts right there, well erected. However, none of the lights is working. The Accra and Sawem Kumase main road.
I then decided to check portions of the 15-kilometer Awoshi-Pokwasi road, whose contract was awarded under late President Atamels. Most of the light posts on the stretch are nothing but decorative.
I think 10 years now, the light is not working. They were changing the bulb. I think that was the last 2 years. Since then, they have nothing like on in it. And they want some minister or some great person to die over there before they fix, and it's not good.
At the 3-level interchange connecting the Sawam Pokwasi Road and the ACP Junction, however, it is all glamorous. A random check on the National Road 4 was not surprising. From the Tetekwashe roundabout through Shiashi to the University of Ghana, the 2-kilometer stretch lacks visibility. And it is the same on the Aburi Road as the Ayimensa Toll Booth Peduasi Lodge stretch paint a gloomy picture.
Every driver needs at least to see 25 meters when you're driving ahead of you. Do we have that? It's unfortunate that drivers are rather having eye issues because you need to strain your eyes in the evening and drive.
So what? This is the seat of government, and the problem persists here right in front of the Jubilee House. A section of it is in pitch darkness. About 10 posts have street lights fixed but are not working. Beyond road safety, this actually raises serious security concerns.
The agencies that have clear responsibility for these matters, and it may be very difficult to tell why the lights are not out, and it's a cross sector issue. At some point, it's either the Department of Urban Roads, at other places, the Highway Authority, the infrastructure is on the highway, the assemblies, because it has security implications for communities, but to a greater extent, the Ministry of Energy.
Road users fear for their lives.
Last month, one
of our drivers and his passengers were robbed last month after a tire burst.
Yes, for Nina.
Okay, say, that's why my fitting I'm a far car name for pay.
If your car breaks down on the road and you don't act swiftly, thieves stole crucial parts of the car.
They should put a street light on the road for us because our safety is very, very much important to our families. If the government doesn't care, our family cares.
According to the Motor Traffic and Transport Department of the Ghana Police Service, approximately 30% of road crashes happen at night. The Ghana Statistical Service also reports that pedestrian knockdowns account for nearly 40% of road fatalities, with inadequate lighting playing a significant role. The World Health Organization's 2023 Global Status Report on Road Safety indicates that road crashes cost Ghana 3 to 5% of its annual gross domestic product.
This are a part of the engineering of our roads, and if this is not there, of course we should have a lot more of accidents on our road.
We are high on ensuring that vehicles that move around at night have improved visibility so that they do not suffer the consequences of the already compounded situation.
A capital drowned in darker street, leaving serious security concerns and creating an environment for criminal activities to thrive. What experts agree is an urgent fix of these street lights to light up the country, to improve safety and enhance economic output. Christian Yale, TV3 News, Accra.
And research firm IC Research has raised an alarm over Bank of Ghana's likelihood to trigger the monetary policy consultation clause in Ghana's ongoing IMF credit facility if inflation falls outside the central target of 18% plus or -2. This follows market watchers' anticipation of a further increase in year-on-year inflation for December 2024 from the current 23%. There's more in the following News Desk report.
Inflation inched up to 23% in November 2024 from 22.1% in October 2024 and is anticipated to go up again, although marginally, in December 2024. If inflation actually falls outside the lower or upper outer band for the test date, Monetary Policy Consultation Clause (MPCC) will be triggered per the MPCC for Ghana's ongoing IMF program. This will involve discussions with the IMF board on proposed remedies to be implemented by Ghanaian authorities. Given the revised central target of 18%, IC Research in its macroeconomic update said that it estimates the upper outer band at 22.0%, above which the authorities would have to trigger the MPCC. With the risk of overshooting the upper outer band, which would trigger the MPCC, IC Research believes Bank of Ghana opted for the aggressive foreign exchange sales to ensure a favorable pass-through of foreign exchange appreciation and to contain inflation below 22% by end 2024. Ghana's consumer price inflation sustained its upsurge in November 2024 as the increase in food inflation outweighed the modest decline on non-food inflation, fueling the price pressure. Headline inflation quickened by 90 basis points to 23% year-on-year against analyst expectation of a modest decline in November 2024.
In more business news this morning, Ghana's ongoing $3 billion extended credit facility agreement with the International Monetary Fund has reached a critical juncture, with the fund praising the country's progress in debt restructuring and economic recovery. As at the end of 2024, a total of $1.92 billion has been disbursed to support Ghana's bid to overcome its worst economic crisis in a generation.
Ghana embarked on a $3 billion three-year extended credit facility agreement with the International Monetary Fund in May 2023. The initiative is part of Ghana's homegrown post-COVID-19 program for economic growth, PCPEG, aimed at restoring macroeconomic stability, achieving debt sustainability, and laying the foundation for inclusive growth. The IMF disbursed the first tranche of the $600 million in May 2023. In January 2024, following Ghana's deal with bilateral creditors to restructure its debt, the IMF approved a second $600 million tranche. The fund praised Ghana's performance under the program, highlighting strong adherence to its conditions.
It is with great honor that I can announce to you that earlier today, the International Monetary Fund endorsed the first review of our program. This is a resounding affirmation that the program is advancing steadily and our reform trajectory remains steadfast. Consequently, the endorsement has unlocked a $600 million disbursement from the IMF.
By June 2024, Ghana reached an agreement in principle with its bondholders to restructure $13 billion in international debt. This followed a final deal with official creditors and led to the IMF Executive Board approving a second review of the loan program, resulting in an immediate disbursement of $360 million. This brought the total IMF disbursements under the program to $1.56 billion. In October 2024, the IMF and Ghana reached a staff-level agreement on the third review of the extended credit facility. Ghana achieved a 98% participation in its Eurobond restructuring, marking a significant milestone in its external debt overhaul. IMF Mission Chief for Ghana, Stéphane Roder, noted that Ghana's performance under the program has been generally satisfactory.
After successfully negotiating our debts with our creditors and with macroeconomic stability returning to our economy, we now have an opportunity, because the time is right for us to focus on growth. And this is why His Excellency the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has decided that we must be intentional about growth.
The IMF lauded the country's effort on debt restructuring, citing efforts to engage commercial creditors and adhere to program parameters. With Ghana ranking as the 5th most indebted country to the IMF in Africa, these reforms are crucial to stabilizing the economy. Ahead of the December 2024 presidential elections, the IMF approved the disbursement of an additional $360 million, increasing the total payout to $1.92 billion. The fund acknowledged Ghana's satisfactory performance, citing recovery in economic growth, declining inflation, and progress in debt restructuring. Following his election victory, President John Dramani Mahama pledged to review Ghana's existing agreements with development partners, aiming to align them with the nation's evolving needs. This pledge has sparked debate, with critics questioning its potential implication. Ghana currently ranks 5th among the top 10 most indebted African countries to the IMF, underscoring the pressing need for sustainable economic measures to ensure long-term stability and growth.
Just so you know, the inauguration of the President-elect John Dramani Mahama is on January 7. Prior to that, the President Nana Akufo-Addo is expected to deliver the final State of the Nation address before Parliament dissolution on January 3. So we'll keep tab on this and surely update you in our subsequent bulletins. But that's how we end the last edition of the Morning News for the year 2024. It's safe to make some New Year resolutions and ensure that it's realistic as possible to ensure that you are able to achieve that and many more. My name is Josh Quinn. Thanks for watching. It's always a pleasure coming your way. Have a good morning.